Hello everyone, welcome to the TheDouzePointe, the channel that awards you 12 points. In today's video, we will be talking about our qualifiers predictions from the first semi-final of Eurovision 2021, which will happen on 18th of May. And as you all know, there are 16 countries and 10 of them will go through to the final. So, before we move on to our predictions, let's introduce ourselves quickly. I'm Kaan. I'm your host of the live streams on Instagram and also here, and I'm in Germany.
Hi, I'm Rin. I'm also in Germany, but I'm from New Zealand.
Hi everyone, I'm Sara and I'm from Italy.
Hello everyone, I am Bogi and I'm from Romania.
We will go specifically country by country, but before we do that, we would like to first get the countries that we think are that certain qualifiers and non-qualifiers out of the way so that we can talk about the remaining controversial countries comfortably. So I would say we start with that certain qualifiers at first to spread some positivity. So all four of us agree that 6 countries are advancing to the final, and these countries are in the chronologically, like in the running order, are Lithuania, Russia, Sweden, Cyprus, Azerbaijan, and Malta. I see you ticking off the countries from your lists.
Yeah. I think Lithuania is going to go through because they're still riding that wave from last year. I mean, the song, in my opinion, isn't as good as last year, and I think a lot of people might share that opinion with me. Like it's lost, something special, but it's still a good song. They still have a huge fan base, and I just can't see them not qualifying. I think that would really be a huge shock.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely a party starter. So
exactly.
And then we have Russia, which may sound interesting to a lot of people because Russia is considered as endangered this year. But we all four of us think that Russia is going through. I can actually, talk about as the biggest Manija stan in the house probably that, we talk about it in the Instagram live, stream reviews as well. Manija has this rawness and it comes across as really enjoyable and self-confident. Although the performance may come across as like a joke entry, I think what she's telling is really important.
She's kind of sincere, but she's in she's sincere in her meaning, even though she's packaged it in a kind of borderline jokey way. She exactly. Actually is sincere about it.
The third country is Sweden. And why do we think that Sweden is going through?
I probably shouldn't answer this one.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Why do you think Sweden's going through?
Because I am 100% it's going through, but I'm not a big fan. Well, they are going through because the TUSE really delivers quality live. I mean, a live performance. The staging was pretty good, and it's Sweden. Come on, they count almost every time.
I mean, I cannot imagine a final without Sweden.
Yeah. I'm 100% sure they will be probably the winner of the juries.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The song is extremely Eurovision friendly.
Yeah.
I can actually also see Malta doing quite well with the juries as well, but Sweden is definitely a contender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have Cyprus and Sara.
I think that it's one of the best bop up tempo that we have this year. I mean, also the fact that it reminds a little bit Lady Gaga. I think that many people can relate to the song. I mean, the chorus is catchy.
Okay, and the next country is Azerbaijan. And Rin, what's your reason for their qualification?
My reason for their qualification is just a really it's catchy in the way that both the music gets in your head, but also it's catchy, you can't help but kind of move to it. So it's catchy in that sense too. And I think that Euro fans, people at home might be a little bit like, oh, what? But I think Euro fans will really love this and really get behind it. And I think that Effendi has done a really great job of like showing us her personality through all of like the social media things she's been doing, and she's really been present, and I think all of us have made kind of a connection also with her. So I think the fans will love this. People at home, not so much. Juries, not so much. But I feel like the fans are enough to get this through.
About Azerbaijan, I actually would like to add something. Azerbaijan, has been considered as a sure qualifier in the past, but recently they have been struggling a little bit. Like they qualify usually from the bottom 5 of the 10 qualifiers. I mean 6 to 10 places, and this song is not their best entry to date. That's obvious, I must say. So I think they're a sure qualifier right now, but I don't expect them to qualify from the first 5 places.
I'd agree.
The thing is, Effendi has actually some weak points. In the music video, we saw that she isn't the best dancer. She delivers vocals, and Azerbaijan, usually brings quality staging. I think that staging will cover up her weak points. And overall, I think the package that we will be getting from Azerbaijan will be quality enough to carry them through. And last but not least, Malta. So, I can say a quick thing. I think the qualification shouldn't be a question here. Malta is currently leading the betting odds. Destiny is a hell of a performer. Like, she can sing, she has the stage presence, charisma. Even if she's not dancing, it comes across as quality. So, sure qualifier.
So on the other end of the scale, we also agreed on 2 sure non-qualifiers, and they were North Macedonia. What do we think about North Macedonia? Like, why is it a sure non-qualifier for us, guys?
I think that it's not Eurovision appropriate, if I can say that, or at least it's not Eurovision friendly enough to qualify.
Yeah, I think it's not
more dramatic than a Eurovision song. So yeah.
Yeah.
Or dramatic in the wrong way, because we love a bit of drama.
Yeah.
In the Broadway kind of way.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say that. I think this is like more on the cheesy side of that drama,
Yeah.
Yeah, and also too much musical theater. That's
we don't need in the grand finals.
And the other one that we all agreed on was, sadly, my down under neighbours, Australia.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And I think we're all a bit sad about it, aren't we? Like, when we think about Australia and the finals, and yeah, it's a bit sad if they don't qualify. But for me, the song it has moments where of the song that I like the technicolor bit. I really like that, but I don't understand it in the context of the entire song. Like, the beginning and that chorus are like 2 completely different songs, and I can't like marry them together in my mind. So the song is just so much weaker than anything else they've sent us before. I mean,
polish up those vocals. Like, as on the chorus, it sounds great, but other than that, I need some improvements there.
And also the fact that they will be using the live on tape performance for Australia. The thing is, the song is actually like not like a song that people will be neutral to. I think this is divisive to a certain extent, but the problem is this is not a Hatari, kind of thing, or Ferhat kind of thing, where people are dying to vote for that. I think the haters of the song will be more than the lovers of the song, which will affect the televoting, in the end. And also, as you said, this is not screaming as a jury favorite. So overall, this may end up in the first non-qualification for Australia.
Yeah.
So, as said, we are going country by country right now. We all have 6 spots, 6 countries in the final so far, which leaves us with 4 open places and 2 sure non-qualifiers. So that means out of 8 songs, we all have to pick 4 each.
Yeah.
So now we are going country by country. As said, we are done with Lithuania. The second country in the running order is Slovenia. and who thinks that Slovenia is going through?
None of us.
So,
Yes.
Sara, I think you were sure about their non-qualification. Why do you think like that?
To predict, the semi-final who will pass through and will get to the final, we need to consider many facts, many aspects like the block voting, the appeal on jury, on televoting, the hype behind the song. I mean, the comparison with the other contestants. We have a lot of things to consider. Also, the betting odds and etc. And I think that Slovenia is not strong enough on any of these points. The appeal on the jury, maybe it will be on the top in the top 10 of the jury. It's possible, but I don't think that it will be enough to get through. I mean, you need something more to get through. So not only the jury votes. And also the other aspect that I mentioned before. I mean, we have stronger competitors in the semi-final, and I mean, also the hype behind the song. Of course, I mean, there are many people who love this song, but the hype is very low, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
isn't
So
enough.
yeah, also the I didn't mention the place in the running order. I mean, it doesn't help a lot,
No.
Slovenia, unfortunately.
I
Good
do
for
have a
Slovenia.
note though that says possible and like a very small possibility that it will sneak in as like a surprise qualifier. But that is a very small possibility,
Yeah.
and that would rely on, the block voting getting behind them, and also the staging being spectacular, and potentially Lithuania having a really bad night, or something.
Yeah,
It would
also,
depend
I
on a
mean,
lot of
yeah,
things, but there's a very small possibility there for Slovenia.
yeah.
I've got them in like my kind of maybe if the planets align category. But yeah.
Before the running order was announced, Slovenia was actually my surprise qualifier from the semi-final. But the fact that it's being placed second, no, I'm just not this year Slovenia.
Yeah.
So I think that's enough chat for Slovenia. We can now move on to Ireland. Who thinks that Ireland are going through?
Hey, you.
So, okay, so
I
I
don't
will now defend why Ireland is going through. So the thing is, the odds are actually against her, and Ireland also, as a country, doesn't have the best track record of qualifying. But it's the first time that Ireland is getting that much of a positive response from the fans and support, as in general. Like, people actually rank the song high enough that it can actually go through. I can see this going through. It's not one of my top 5 contenders for the semi-final. Like, if Ireland is going through, it'll be like somewhere from 7th to 10th place. Like, I don't see this necessarily as a sure qualifier, but the song is really uplifting, and that's the only song in the semi-final that has a rock music touch. So rock music has also its fans, and those fans can go for this song. Also, Ireland is working with the stage, like, creative director of Heroes, Mont Miller 2015, and that teases actually a good staging. So if Leslie delivers the song vocally, I actually have faith in Ireland this year, which I usually don't have. And I also love the song personally, so yeah,
Well,
I'll be happy if this qualifies.
well, I mean, she's another one. Ireland's another one, which is in my possibilities category. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she qualified. She's not in my personal qualification, but I do think that the song has potential to sneak in as a qualifier. But for me, it would be really borderline, so like 9 or 10.
I don't see it as short non-qualifier, but I mean, it's there. I mean, if someone else flop that night, like for example Norway or Ukraine, I mean, if someone else flop, it could qualify.
Hmm.
I think from all of you, I am the most, I don't know, not positive about the qualification of the song. I am sure that it's not it's gonna be in the bottom.
Oh,
my
is it one of your non-qualifiers?
yeah.
That's my sure non-qualifiers.
And also I don't think this is rock enough to be voted by the rock
This
fans.
has a rock touch. I mean, she's
Mm,
actually a rock
I,
music performer. So
I mean, it
original.
could appeal to like the non-fans. I mean, the people that just watch Eurovision once a year and don't follow it in any other way. It's
Yeah.
kind of mainstream enough that it could get some love there.
So without trying to be shitty, I don't think she has enough charisma to carry her on the final. I mean, I
I,
can
I think
the
I
back.
actually think the opposite of it. I think she has charisma, and people actually love Leslie Roy in the Euro fandom, like in the Eurovision bubble. So that can help actually.
Let's
So,
see.
and then we have Norway. Who thinks that Norway is advancing? Okay, three of you. So, I actually would like to hear your reasons first, then I will talk about mine.
Should I start? As the
Fine.
biggest Kano stan in our entire team, and as somebody whose heart was broken and smashed to a trillion pieces when Tix won, for me to now have him as a sure qualifier is a really big deal. I mean, I way back when I vowed that he would remain in my last place for eternity, but I lied. And so I have Norway as a sure qualifier, and I have Norway as a sure qualifier because the song is just so catchy. I mean, I've said it before. I don't think there is any kind of sophistication in the lyrics at all. I think Tix himself as a performer has like every other song he's ever done is better than Fallen Angel. But it's so catchy, and I just can't ignore that. And also, he's kind of grown on me. Like he's become. I thought he was this kind of like really arrogant, horrible person, but throughout, I know, 'cause it's Eurovision, we judge. Come on, anyone who doesn't judge is a liar. But through this sort of period in the lead up to Eurovision, he has given us glimpses into who he is, and he's kind of endeared himself to me. And as I said before, when I give Norway points, the points are for Andreas and not necessarily the song. But in saying that, the song has grown on me. It's really catchy. There's still plenty I don't like about this song, but I do think Norway is going to qualify.
I think the song will get through because of that, thanks to that wow factor. And the wow factor to Norway this year is the ridiculousness of the staging. I mean, the costumes are so kitsch, they just scream like, I don't know, campy.
And his footage of his rehearsals in Norway,
Yeah,
it looks like they're keeping exactly the same staging.
they are keeping the same costumes. And then it looks so cheap and ridiculous that the people will be like, what the heck has just happened? And even though it's not the best song of the night, that thought of what the heck happened will carry on to the running order, that people would vote for it because they will remember it.
It's going to be a bit like, Cesar, the vampire Romanian guy. It's the same kind of feeling. It's like, what the hell just happened here? But people love that. And I think, I agree with you.
This is my, borderline non-qualified. This is my 11th place right now. I went back and forth between two countries, which we'll talk about really soon. And I just decided to put that through. The thing is, you are talking about the staging. I think this will go not in the way that you all expect to go in. I think that this will share the same story destiny with Belarus 2018, if you remember Forever by Alexei. Forever.
Yeah, with the rose through the heart.
Yeah, the staging was so overdone. So, it was so dramatic, but it was cheesy, And actually, the song wasn't that bad, but both songs, like Fallen Angel and Forever, have this nostalgic touch to them. And both stagings are really over the top. So I think if that didn't go through, this may also end up with non-qualification, and I can easily see juries destroying their chances. I can see this in bottom three, for example. So this will get a televoting support to a certain extent, but the question is, will it be enough to carry them, push them to the final? Norway is probably the country that I'm most unsure about, and the next country that we're going to talk about actually stole Norway's place in the final for me.
Okay.
So, and after Norway, we have Croatia. And who thinks Croatia is advancing? So, Bogi, hater, let's hear from you first.
It's not that is a hater. For me, Israel will steal Croatia's spot.
Hmm.
I mean, for me, it was Israel and Croatia as number 10 and 11. And I am not sure at this point if they will switch. The song is sort of weak.
I mean, they
it's,
tried. They tried.
it's a bit dusty for me, if you know what I mean. I can see this qualifying in the beginning of the I don't know.
2000s?
But
Not now.
the fact that she's so young, she kind of lacks experience. So all these negative sides will probably result in a non-qualification, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's not a sure non-qualifier for me. I'll be glad to see Croatia in the final, actually.
After all of these negative comments, I'll be glad to see them in the final.
Tempo song, and I love up-tempo songs.
I mean, for me, this song for a really long time was a definite non-qualifier for a really long time. And then the more and more I listened to it, the more I started to love this song. It's definitely like a guilty pleasure song. You're right, Bogi. It is a little bit dusty. It kind of reminds me of Kylie, and I think that could also work in Croatia's favor, because a ton of the voting public is kind of like in my age group, who all loved Kylie, and this is kind of like a really fun flashback to when we were in our 20s and could stay up all night. And I think that will help Croatia. I really, really would be extremely surprised if she didn't qualify. I mean, she's not going to qualify in the top 3 or the top 5, but I mean, she could definitely qualify between 6th and 8th.
I agree with Bogi that Croatia and Israel are competing for the kind of same spot in the top 10. Like, they are in the similar genre or similar style, I would say. But the thing is, I actually, thought that all this time that Croatia is going through. But when I did the list, I was less certain about that. But in the end, I think this is the year where a lot of up-tempo songs will advance to the grand final, and exceptionally, because of the circumstances. And in the past, we actually saw that, for example, in 2019, Albania and Macedonia qualifying at the same time with a ballad, or in 2018, Ryan Oshognusi together and Lithuanians when we're all qualifying at the same time together, although they were like really sleepy ballads. The fact that, two similar songs can qualify is not that unlikely for me, and that's the reason why I put Croatia and Israel at the same time through. I'm really comfortable with her delivering the song. I'm not a fan of the song. I think the song is pretty basic compared to some of the other songs in the semi-final, but I think the fact that it's just fun and up-tempo will carry them to the grand final.
Yeah, I think that it's a song that has a big appeal on the young public. I think I can see many young teenagers who will vote for this. I can see enough hype behind the song. I mean, as we said, it's not a great song. It's a little bit dusty. I mean, it's not my favorite too, but it has appeal. It has mainstream vibe, so many people can relate to that and vote for that.
it's probably the first year in a long time that Pressure is sending something mainstream, like Rocco with the Wings, and then Jacques Hudek. But anyway, we're closing that, and now we're moving on to Belgium. Overphonic with the wrong place.
In the wrong song.
I think it's going through as a only person in the team. So the thing is, I also don't see them as a sure 100%, that certain qualifier. I'm not saying that, but I think this has a spot in the final just because this is a controversial opinion, but I think this is better than Romania in terms of non-up-tempo song.
See Bogi's face.
Trigger alert.
I don't think they are in the same genre. I guess they are not up. They are
not
both.
up. I'm saying this. I'm saying this in terms of not being up tempo. And as I already mentioned, I think this is the year where many up tempo songs will qualify. So if one of them will go through, I would say it's Belgium. I know that you don't enjoy the song as much as I do. I'm also not in love with the song, but I enjoy the song. So I think Belgium is an underdog because many people have actually written off Belgium, and the odds are also not looking that positive.
Like any friends
Belgium,
in the
Belgium usually don't have a lot of friends actually in voting, but
maybe Australia. I could see how this kind of music would appeal to Australians.
I mean, they came in fourth. They came in fourth twice in the past. So recently, actually, in 2015 and 2017. So I think voting allies don't mean everything. The juries will definitely enjoy this one. I can see this as a jury favorite song. Like this will get love from the juries. The televoting, that's the questionable part. But I think the fact that they are Hooverphonic and have a European fan base will help it to a certain extent. And I think that the older generations will definitely have appeal on the older generations.
Not this older generation.
Not all.
If I am sending this to my mother, the Belgian song, and I would be like, hey, do you like it?
No, this is crap. I'm 100% sure.
Okay, so
actually, your mother is not a music authority, so.
But she and I are in the same age bracket.
But okay, Europe is not limited to 5 people. I think the juries will love this, and this has an atmospheric style.
Group category here, not about the juries.
Let me finish talking. So we haven't seen the staging yet. I think with the staging, this will really come together. Hooverphonic. Guys, okay, so I will just explain this to our viewers because you are not paying attention, and I'm actually curious to see your facial expressions when Belgium goes through. But anyway, so I think with the staging, this could really elevate. Hooverphonic are a group that have been actively doing music for a long time, like 25 years. So they must know how to stage a song, and they must know whom to work with. So I actually think that they won't mess the staging up.
For me, Belgium is in the middle, like Ireland and also Israel. For me, these are the three that can make it through. I mean, surprisingly, if someone of the sure qualifier fails. But I think that Belgium will get much appeal on jury. I expect them to be one of the favorites from the jury. As we said also in our review, they will get some votes from the fans from who grew up with their songs. I mean, their name is known all over the world, so I expect many people to say, oh, they are Hooverphonic, let's hear from them and maybe let's vote for them. But I think that in the end, it will not be enough. That Hooverphonic are more a no qualifier than a qualifier. But they will get something. I mean, not the last of the semifinal. I don't expect them in final. I mean, no. But they're not very high, in my opinion.
For me, they're a definite non-qualifier, and you guys already know that I dislike the song immensely. I also can, when you're saying, yeah, they know how to put on a show and they know how to be on stage, my question to that is,
Do they care enough about Eurovision?
to really deliver us something amazing, or are we just going to get good because it's something they've signed up to and have to go through with?
For me, they are really big names in their own country that they don't want their name to be in the same sentence with a non-qualification at Eurovision. So they'll probably do their best to go through.
Like everyone.
I mean, even if, yeah, yeah. But you're talking as if Hooverphonic are amateurs and newcomers.
No, not at all.
I think
not at all. I just think that we can't assume that we're going to get the same Hooverphonic that wowed people in the 90s, because it's not the 90s anymore. It's 20 years later, and there's a big chunk of fandom that has no idea who they are.
I can hop in and say that you can have a great staging, you can have a great voice, you can have everything if you don't have the song, which is in the wrong place.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Bogi. I think that this is not the best that Hooverphonic could bring us, in my opinion.
But it's still an elevation from last year. I think that's...
Yeah, okay, we can give them that, yeah.
Thank you, finally. Some positivity from you. Okay, so in any case, we are moving on to Israel. And then Alena with the song Set Me Free. Who thinks Israel is going through? So again, 3 people. Sara, why are you spreading negativity on this?
No, I mean, I would like to see Eden in the final. I mean, she deserved it. But I don't know why, but Israel is a big question mark for me this year, because I don't see the hype. I don't see any block voting. I mean, Israel is usually strong at Eurovision, but I don't see the appeal on the jury. I don't know. It lacks of something, and I really don't know what to say exactly, because I mean, she can get through, okay, but I can see her as a not qualifier as well. I mean, 10th, and then in the 11th place I have Israel. So I'm waiting for the staging and the hype that I will feel from the public.
I can quickly dive in and say that Israel is not one of my personal favorites in the semifinal. Like, I wouldn't put them through if it comes down to me. But the reason why I think Israel is going through is just Ed and Alena performing the song. The song lacks a lot of substances to it. Like, I don't see this as a final worthy song. Also, the reason is that we have witnessed the process of the song. The first version was crap, and they constantly revamped the song till this point, where I still think that the song is not quality enough. But Eden and the team will definitely elevate the song. And Israel is always like good with the stagings. Like, I can see Israel investing in this year's staging not to get eliminated, since they have a streak of qualifications recently. So that's why I think Israel is going through.
I think there will be some I think the jury will actually like the vocal like the demonstration of her vocal ability. Like, I think that they will enjoy the fact that she goes for these high notes and she will hit them. I don't think that's a question. I think that Israel would not make her sing those notes if they weren't 100% sure she was going to nail them. Because one wrong note, you're gone, right?
That's true. We actually saw her hitting those notes in Instagram stories.
Exactly.
She shared them. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So I think the jury will actually give some love to those aspects of the song. I mean, the quality of lyrics and the musicality of the song, the jury's not going to care for it. But those particular things, I think, will appeal on some level. Like you said, Kaan, I totally agree. The staging is going to be amazing, because Israel is not going to deliver us something that's half done. So, I mean, we saw on her Instagram, her dances, training, and it is going to be a show. I am 100% sure it's going to be a show, and that is going to make up for any inadequacies with the actual song. So the high notes, the dancing, the stage performance, and Eden equals for me a qualifier.
I have it as the 10th qualifier of the night.
Oh.
But that's not about my personal favorite, because in this semifinal, I guess she's my number one.
Wow.
To see the first video of the song, which for me was more than enough to qualify. And then I saw the revamped version, and the video, and I was like, okay, I can see the fact that the video is one of the best so far, but I was so let down by the revamp. I was a big fan of the first version and not of this one. I consider that this one is a little bit crap just because it lacks that final moment at the end when it's wow. And again, you already said that Israel is really good with staging, and I agree. I guess they are one of the powerhouses for staging in Eurovision. And about the fact that she can dance and sing in the same time, she it's not that she can sing, she slays the performance. So in terms of performance, I am sure she will be one of the best of the night. And the fact that she's the 12th,
yeah, it's a pretty reasonable spot
in her help, because being one of the last songs and having a memorable performance will really help her to get through.
Right now we are moving on to your country, which is Romania. So I'm gonna kill the vibe because I am the only person that thinks Romania is not going through. I can actually continue why I think like that. As I said, I think Belgian package looks more stronger than this one. I won't be mad if this goes through. Like, I don't hate the song. I actually like the song. She has to deliver the vocals, but also at the same time, this is not an up-tempo song, but at the same time, there will be dancing on the stage. We know that at this point. So I think she'll be, all over the place with, should I focus on the singing? Should I focus on the choreo? Like, the staging will be a little bit complicated for her, and I don't think she has had that kind of an experience in the past in her career.
Dance school.
She can. I mean, I don't say that she can't dance. I think this whole thing, singing and dancing at the same time with a specific choreo of the backing dancers, the interaction, I think this will be too much to make come together on the stage. At the same time, this is between two up-tempo songs, Israel and Azerbaijan, and both countries will invest a lot of money in their performances. I can see. And both songs are catchy. I think this is not memorable enough because after Azerbaijan we also have Ukraine and Malta, which will also go big with their stagings, and they are really high impact songs. I think this is the lowest impact song in that field of the songs, like in the second half of the this semi. So that's why I think this is not going through. Also, Roxanne lacks a little bit energy as well as a person. Like, this is her personality, and I think this. These factors will end up in a non-qualification for Romania in third time in a row, I think. Yeah.
I have her as my 10th qualifier. So she actually pushed somebody else out of their qualification spot in my ranking. And there's a few reasons why. It's actually my husband's favorite song for the season. So I've heard it like 55,000 times. The one thing I must say, well, there's a couple of things I must say. The live vocals that we've seen her give recently have all been on point. So I really think that she's going to deliver on the vocals. And I think what makes her different, why she snuck up into a qualification, is that in a field of tons of really sort of upbeat, sort of boppy songs, there are very few that actually have a real emotional connection. And I think she delivers that emotional connection that a lot of the bops don't deliver. Also, the words are it's a highbrow song. The words are sophisticated. They have they definitely have a meaning. and the meaning feels authentic to her and her delivery. So I think she's going to just sneak in. I don't see her finishing in like the top 3 or top 5 of the semi. I really see her right on the line, but I think she'll get that because she's going to provide that moment for us all to like feel something other than excitement. Like it's actually going to be a more emotional moment.
So you think that the fact that she's performing between up-tempo songs is actually in favor of hers?
Yeah. I think that for her, because unlike Slovenia, which I don't think that works for Slovenia, and I think it's to do with like the emotion in the song. It's kind of, for me, Roxanne is a lot more authentic in her delivery of the emotion. So I think that for her, it's not a big deal that it's sandwiched between 2 pops.
Okay. Bogi, let's hear from you. Because
the first time I heard about her was actually when she was announced as the representative for the previous year, for 2020. And then when I heard that Roxanne is gonna represent us, I was like, okay, who is her? So I saw online, and also some friends of mine that are like, I don't know, 15, 16, that she's like, oh my God, Roxanne will represent Romania. I was like, yeah, but who is she? So my first experience with Roxanne was when I opened the YouTube, and she had a song that's really popular here, and she was singing live on the radio that song, and I was like, okay, I'm glad that at least she can sing. She's this sort of clumsy, I don't know, kind of introvert teenager, old teenager that, I don't know, you can really relate to. I can see these big divas on Eurovision that are like praised for being divas, and I think Roxanne is the total opposite of a diva. She's just, I don't know, a kind of a child on the stage. But other than that, even though she seems like a child on stage, she really delivers really nice live performances. And then when I heard this, I was like, oh, so it's just another slow tempo song. But that's the fact. This is Roxanne's safe spot. I am sure that she won't dance that much as the dancers. She'll focus more on the vocals, and the dancer will be
Sorry.
the dancer will carry much of the dynamic element of the show. What I'm concerned about, looking at all the 16 countries, is that I cannot see so many, I don't know, countries voting for us that usually vote for us, except Azerbaijan, Israel, and Italy. So I am more sure about the juries than the televoters.
And Sara, as an Italian, would you vote for this song?
Oh my God, no. Personally, I don't think that I'm honest. But Romania is one of my favorites this year. It's in my personal top 10. It's also in my top 10 of qualifier from the first semi-final. I think that they will get through because the song is good. I mean, it has a concept behind, as a climax, has a vibe. And also she can really deliver the song, and I think that she will create an intimate atmosphere in Rotterdam, and I think that many people will relate to her, to the song. I think that the staging is the thing that most concern us. I mean, Romania is not as Italy. I mean, it's not. A master of creating staging, but I think that she needs a really simple staging. I mean, just some framings, some lights, and just to create this intimate atmosphere. So I think that she will pass.
We are moving on to the last country that we didn't agree on, which is Ukraine. They are performing in 15 slot number 15, and who thinks Ukraine is going through? Okay, it's 2 versus 2 on this one. For the first time, I think, yeah, for the first time. So, guys, why do you think Ukraine's getting through?
I think that Ukraine will pass. Also, I mean, many people think the otherwise, but I think that Ukraine will pass because it's something different in the first semifinal. I mean, they have a good fan base during this. I mean, they created a good fan base during this last year. I mean, the song maybe is not amazing, but it's something that you don't listen to often. So I think that they will stand out somehow, and also the staging we can impress, let's say, people, and yeah, I mean, I think that Ukraine is too special not to get through. I mean, they are a good band. I mean, they can sing, they can deliver the song. They will receive some block voting, let's say. I think that's also the televoting. Also, for maybe Russia is something different too, but I mean, this is more different than Russia, in my opinion, and it's ethnic. It's something ethnic, and I mean, we can do without ethnicity at Eurovision. So I think that they will pass. Not one of the first qualifier, but I mean the eighth, ninth qualifier. Yeah.
I think the juries can do without ethnicity. I really don't think that the juries will um, be behind Ukraine this year. A limited spot for these kind of unusual and original songs. I think Russia, and I can see Norway going through. For example, I don't have Norway in my list, but Norway's qualification seems more likely than Ukraine's at this point, because Norway's song at least is familiar to a lot of us. Although it's a throwback song, it still brings memories back. But Ukraine's song is, I mean, the taste is really local, and probably most of the people watching the semifinal, like live on the night, will hear that kind of flute and Ukrainian folk for the first time in their lives. And I don't see Western ears really enjoying this. And I can see Ukraine, by the way, in the bottom of the jury voting, like definitely. But I think although they will get some voting from their, allies like Azerbaijan and who else? I mean, Israel may vote for Ukraine. And although they are like not the best friends right now, televoting still is active with Russia.
Yeah.
And also Lithuania, by the way. We have also Lithuania. Like these kind of post-Soviet countries still are behind each other in that way. So I don't see this flopping in the televoting, but in the juries, really, it's a big flop, a big flop. And if we are going to have any unusual songs in the final, that won't be Ukraine. Sadly, though, like I love the group so much, and Kate is iconic. I say this every time, but sadly, this is not the year. Like, bye qualification streak.
Yeah, I have to pretty much agree with everything that you just said there, actually. They're in my 11th spot. So I really love Ukraine I love Go A as a group. Shum, I'm not as much in love with as Solove, but I agree with you. I don't think the jury is going to love this at all. And that's really sad because I think, like Sara said, we need the ethnicity. We love the ethnicity at Eurovision. And I would be really sad if we lost this ethnic quality. But the juries have a track record of letting us down when it comes to, to giving ethnic songs the points and the votes that they deserve. So I think that you're right there, Kaan. I think that it's probably going to be really, really tight. I think they're going to have plenty of support in televoting. As you said, they actually do have quite a few countries that traditionally do vote for Ukraine, or, even if it's not the 12 points, it's the 10 or the 8. So I think that televoting is not going to be the issue, especially because of all the stuff they've done on social media. I mean, their trip to Chernobyl was so iconic. I mean, for me, that's been like the highlight of the whole of Eurovision. Like Go A at Chernobyl, it just fit them so perfectly. And I mean, I would love them to qualify. I really hope they do. But yeah, I think the jury is going to ruin it.
Mm-hmm. On one side, we have Go A, journeying to Chernobyl, and on the other hand, we have Vasil in the park, maybe doing yoga, and I mean the staging will be good. I mean, I always have faith in the Ukrainian staging, but the song is the issue. And Bogi, you think that the song is going through?
Yes, I think they are going through, but I am sure they are a borderline qualifier. They are definitely not there, not even on top 5. I think they rely a lot on the televote, but I mean, I'm not that pessimistic, and I'm sure that they will get some love from the juries as well, because they can sing. So at least from this point of view, and they can deliver the song. And also, you talked a lot about ethnicity, but I want to state the fact that they are the most, I mean, I don't know, ethnic friendly song of this year. They are the most authentic and genuine song of this year.
Yeah, and that's it. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. It's not like a nod to ethnicity, like Azerbaijan has got ethnic elements, but it's not a traditional song. Whereas this is like a full-on,
all the way.
Yeah, all the way, 100% expression of ethnic culture for them.
So if they manage to put the folklore on the staging, they will get through. But I'm not talking about, I don't know, a nice picture of a land of wheat or something. No, I'm talking about what they are actually singing in the song. So they have to do something with that staging to make us understand the song.
And also one quick side note, I think if they bring the Corona outfit staging, I will cancel them, because
Same.
and also not only me, and also probably a lot of people, because Eurovision is a distraction and escapism, in a way. And the fact that, I mean, if you bring the Corona theme to the table once again, I think many people will definitely
cancel them.
go away, like go away from Ukraine. Van voting. If the staging looks cheap,
This is a sure non-qualifier, like straight away.
So, well, we talked a lot. Let's make a quick recap of what we've talked so far. First, we kicked this off with our 6 That's Certain qualifiers, and they were Lithuania, Russia, Sweden, Cyprus, Azerbaijan, and Malta. All 4 of us agreed that 2 countries have no chance to go through, and they are Australia and North Macedonia. And right now, let's tell our 4 remaining qualifiers for the final. I think that Ireland, Belgium, Israel, and Croatia are going through, in addition to the 6 qualifiers that we agreed on.
Okay, so my additional 4 were Israel, Croatia, Norway, and Romania.
Mine are Croatia, Romania, Ukraine, and Norway.
And my 4 are Romania, Norway, Ukraine, and Israel.
So that was what we thought about semi-final 1. And we're actually looking really forward to next Saturday when the rehearsals start. So we're going to be covering the rehearsals from the press center, myself and the rest of the team. So stay tuned for more content related to the rehearsals and what's going on. And you'll probably find those on our Instagram channel first, and then perhaps also over here on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe. On Instagram, hit the bell button so that you can be sure to be notified when we upload something. So thank you for joining us. Thanks, team. And we'll see you back again when we look at semi-final 2.
It's time for the cringe outro. So, 12 points. Let's do this all together, because that'll be even more cringy.
Yeah.
12 points go to you.
You.
You have to repeat.
Okay. So, yes, what are we doing now?
The same thing.
Okay,
we're doing
let's do
again?
it.
Say you.
Okay.
Okay, let's. So, cringe outro time. 12 points go to you.
You. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Goodbye.